Hey guys, before this video starts, I want to give out a disclaimer that this entire video was unscripted and done at 9 in the morning. So, sorry if I sound dead and I'm a little quiet and I fumble my words. Hope this isn't a problem and enjoy the video. The Hammond collection. Both really good quality dinosaur figures made by Mattel, other than the other stuff they made. But with some dinosaurs lacking some parts, they are all overall really good figures. Well, most of them. And so far, all the figures they released are pretty good. Especially this T-Rex, which is probably one of the best ones. And wait, you're an Amber collection figure! Enough discussing about my current figures. What are the new ones we have in store? Oh my. So hello everyone, Dreadeki2007 here, and we are back at it again with more toy review videos that I haven't done in like 7 months or so. But hey, we're back at it again with two new Hammond collection figures, that being the Metriacanthosaurus and the Brachiosaurus. A little story about these two. I was at my Target yesterday shopping for, you know, Jurassic World stuff because me want more Hammond collection figures. And surprisingly, Metriacanthosaurus was there, and also Brachiosaurus. I never thought the Brachiosaurus would be in stock this early. I originally thought it was going to be released in like October? What? I thought the Brachiosaurus was going to release in October or November, but guess what? It got an earlier release, so that's awesome. Alright, enough story time. Let's go open these boxes. We'll start up with the Metriacanthosaurus. Alright, now we got the figure out of the box. Let's just put it aside real quick and look at the box itself. So, the logo on it, since it was never actually in a movie, is the 30th anniversary because, yeah, Jurassic Park is now 30 years old. And then the side, where we could actually see the dinosaur in action, and it looks pretty cool in that lighting. And now for the back of the box. After shutting down Jurassic Park's security system, Dennis Nedry makes his way to the cold storage room and secretly steals the embryos of the Metriacanthosaurus as well as other dinosaur species. And yes, Metriacanthosaurus was one of the DNA samples that were in the cold storage. And then the side is just Hammond collection. Put the box here. And now, let's get the actual figure out of the box. Alright, we can, throw this plastic away. Alright, so here's the Metriacanthosaurus in all of his beauty. We'll start off with the paint job, and I gotta say, even though I like the concept art for this one, of the Metriacanthosaurus, this color scheme is honestly pretty cool. With a little brownish bronze on its nose, sorry if the lighting. Brownish black across its face that goes all the way down to its tail to like the stripe. And also a little bronze orange brownish at the eye tip and parts of the crest. And painted nails! That's really nice. And a different color scheme from the underbelly and the sides. That's pretty thoughtful of Mattel. Now let's talk about how it looks like. The sculpt of it, beautiful. I absolutely adore this. From the head all the way to the tail, this looks like a really cool, like an actual official looking Metriacanthosaurus. Now for the posability. So, it can open its jaw. Has rotation at the head and at the neck that can swivel. So you can do all kinds of posability. 360 around the arms. And a joint at the elbow. This goes for both arms, by the way, and they can all swivel. Same thing for the legs. You can... yeah, it can only go a certain amount of distance for this copy. They can all bend and swivel, even the feet. Now for the tail part, which is on a ball joint, and as you guessed it, this has bendy wire. Paint on this guy is really nice, the sculpt is godly, and the posability is cool. I give this an 8 out of 10, but there is one thing about this Metriacanthosaurus. The figure came defective. That's right, my copy has a little problem at the head. When I open the jaw and do it like this, so it can pose, but the head seems to be loose. And now I cannot make a full, like, roaring gap for a pose. Because it'll always be like this, it will always flop. So sad thing about my copy, I might get a new one, who decides. But all in all, I still like this figure, 8 out of 10. So let's get this out of the way, we'll put him with the T-Rex. And now let's move on to her majestic self, Brachiosaurus. This is going to be a pain to open. Oh dear God. This figure is, bro, the pieces are so big it's not even fitting in frame. Let's move this aside. Now let's admire this amazing box. Alright, so the box is huge. As you can tell, it's not even fitting in the frame if I make it upright. But I'll pick up my camera and so we got how big it is, some poses, and then a little back shot. Go to the side of the box, we got the silhouette, and there's going to be some check out what's inside with Mr. DNA. And we got a little facts thing, which is nice. And then we have the side art, which was shown in the video, obviously. And the other side is pretty much instructions. Alright, in the top of the box, wait, hold on. We have a fact about Brachiosaurus. The sight of the first dinosaur on the tour of Jurassic Park causes Dr. Alan Grant to not only stand and remove his hat and glasses in shock, but he was also physically turns Dr. Ellie Sattler's head so she could see what he can't believe, a massive Brachiosaurus. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Alright, really nice, but get out of the way. We have more problemos, like opening this figure. I'm not gonna show myself piecing together this giant dinosaur, so see you guys in a bit. As you can clearly see, this was a giant figure to pick out. Not pick out, to unbox, so. But also, before I set up this figure, I'm gonna show you the little panel thing that comes with it. How to make a Brachiosaurus with Mr. DNA. Private tour of the Jurassic Park Genetics Lab, hosted by the park's creator, John Hammond, with Mr. DNA. And then basically the synopsis from the first movie. I'm not reading it. And then on the back, we have a little art panel, which I thought was a different shot of this scene, but it turns out it's not. It's just an art panel. And then we have Mr. DNA saying, "Be ready to experience moments like this at Jurassic Park. Yay! Yay, I'm totally not gonna get eaten by a T-Rex. Woohoo!" Alright, get this out of the way. Now I gotta set up this bad girl. So after like about 10 minutes of getting this figure to have a proper pose and actually unboxing it, I gotta say, this thing is awesome. The sculpt of this dinosaur is absolutely beautiful. All from the tip of the head all the way down to the tail. Even though this is merely hollow plastic, so is everything else. But the neck is made completely out of rubber just for the posability, and also the head's plastic. Now let's move on to the paint job. And the paint job, honestly, pretty good. I was expecting something more bland like the Legacy Collection one, but hey, they actually did a pretty good job. It's awesome. And also, painted nails! Oh, I can die in peace. Now, if I just move this aside, we could take a look at the tail, which pretty bland at the end of it, but hey, it's a Brachiosaurus, what else could you expect? Now for the posability, and for this I gotta stand up because this figure is simply way too big. Brachiosaurus has a ball joint at the head and also has mouth movement. Also, about a little detail, the eye is pretty, how should I say that? a little bit like the T-Rex one, just gonna say that. Now for the neck, which is pretty much obviously gonna be the best thing. Okay, so the figure itself is so big that it can't fit in the frame, and I have to use both my hands to actually show off this guy, so. See? Posability. This video is going extremely well, I can tell. And also, there is a rotation at the neck. Also, like the Legacy Collection one, the neck, well, everything can go down like this, but it's hard to do it because it relies on pieces that are inside of it that will make it a certain pose. Also, it's hard pose, there we go. I have to use that. Now let's go on to the legs, which you've already probably seen. They can rotate, but not fully. You can only go a certain distance, like this. And we have a swivel at the, would you call this the knee? Oh yeah, the knee, and it can also bend. And now for the foot, which can also swivel and bend too. And that goes for every single leg. Now let's move on to the tail, which is probably one of the disappointing aspects of this figure. It only has a rotation and that. I originally thought this was going to be an entirely posable tail, but when I found out it's not, I was disappointed. Editor's note, I was trying to say the Brachiosaurus should have had a ball joint and a bendy wire tail like with most of every other Hammond collection figure. That's all I wanted to say, and back to the video. Then there's also a ball joint at the end of this tail that's purely plastic, and then a rotation at this part of the tail. So there are clearly 1, 2, 3 tail pieces for this whole figure. So what do I have to say about this figure? This figure is pretty great. It's pretty and on par with the T-Rex, so it's probably gonna be one of my favorites. But also, this thing is so big, it's probably not even gonna fit on my shelf. I give this figure a solid 9 out of 10. But do you really want this figure? Well, let's go up to scaling before I can show you how big they are. Alright, so here's the Hammond Collection Metriacanthosaurus on par with the Roarvors Metriacanthosaurus. And I gotta say, massive glow up. And now for the Brachiosaurus. This is the original Legacy Collection one, and this is the Hammond Collection one. And if you're wondering about this figure, what happened to the end of the tail, let's just say Astro, my dog, when he was a puppy, ate part of it. And also I gave him pedicures. Now, do I recommend these figures? Absolutely. These are really good quality figures. Although my Metriacanthosaurus is, you know, defective with its mouth. So I'll probably, yeah, I'll buy a new one. So all in all, these figures are really good besides that one defect from you. And you being really oversized. These are really good figures. I recommend to go get them on Target. They're actually only selling at Target besides websites. But hey, that's all for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.